And with this short introduction video, I would like to welcome you to our today's online seminar. Our title today is about noise reduction, vibration reduction with igus bearings in automotive vehicles. My name is Sebastian Blöchel. I'm from Germany. I'm the responsible industry manager for automotive business in Asia Pacific, as well as for some other European subsidiaries and countries. Together with me, my colleague, Mr. Sandesh Solanki from India, will join the seminar today. He's the team leader from the automotive team in India. Let's take a short look into our agenda today. So we will start with some knowledge about the company, about our products, and then we will directly go into the topic and into the question, how can we, or is it possible to reduce noises in automotive applications with our igus bearings? Last but not least, Q&A. Please feel free. Please put your questions into the chatter. Our colleagues from India, you can see them here. We have a big automotive team in India for giving the best possible support. All kinds of regions having a specific engineer only for automotive applications, and they are here in the chatter and will answer your questions right away. All right, let's take a look into our company. So we were founded in 1964. You can see Mr. Günther Blase on this picture together with his wife Margret Blase. He founded igus as a company. And he went, actually, the first idea he had was going to an automotive supplier and ask them for a part they are facing issues with. And then he developed and spent engineering efforts into designing a plastic part to replace an existing metal part. And what he could reach was a higher lifetime of the product. It lasted longer in the application, as well as a cost reduction by part. And this approach is still our idea of the company. If we talk about applications together with you, we as igus always want to support you in increasing the technology, improving the technology. It could be the lifetime of the product. It could be also the noise reduction, the higher quality noise reduction. And on the other side, we also want to reduce the costs together with you. After 13 years, we went into this already a little larger building, and now we are really happy to have this headquarter here. Located in Cologne, Germany, and the factory here in India, in Bangalore. Coming to our products, we having a numerous number of products. On the left side, you can see it's the department about the energy chains, means for us a rack chain business, as well as cables we are producing and already pre-harnessed solutions to reduce the assembly times in your company. On the right side, we will take a look. We are having a lot of bearing solutions like linear bearings, spherical bearings, and today we will take a deeper look into the sliding bearing department. So let's raise the question, how is it possible, or is it possible to reduce noises with our igus bearings? And for a start, let's take a look into why noise reduction is an even higher and more important essential requirement for the automotive industry. The first reason is about the combustion engines, the traditional transmission engines, the cars getting much higher quality insulations, which can cover the created noises from the interior sounds, for example. The same topic we have for the electrical or hybrid vehicles, which are getting more and more market share today. They run completely quiet. They don't even create engine noises at all. Means for both topics, we don't have any possibility to cover the created noises from all the other applications. So you will hear each noise much more clear inside of the car. Another point is the safety factor. Like if you are driving on the road and you hear a constant squeaking or rattling noise, it's a higher possibility that you will be irritated during driving. One of the most important points I would like to say is the high impression of the quality. Now, like if you go into the shop floor, into the car shop, you will sit down in a car, you will put your your arm on the armrest, and you will hear a rattling noises coming out of the armrest. You will decide within seconds to not purchase the car. That means all of these points getting into more focus of the noise management, and the target of the engineers is always to ensure and create lesser noise for having a higher comfort for the passenger. Some typical phrases for the noises which are well known is, for example, the BSR means buzz, squeak and rattle, and NVH is the noise, vibration and harshness. And these two short forms describe nearly all generated noises coming from components, coming from assemblies in the vehicle, and for sure being tested in noise chambers during test drives and so on. Focusing on the bearing, like how is it possible to create noise, or why can create come from the bearing? The first point is lack of lubrication. The second point is wear, like for example, worn out sliding surfaces. The third point is about the system play, like the clearance between the shaft, the housing, and for sure the bearing. And all these 3 points we will take a look now much more deeply, and having great examples how to solve it with our igus bearings. For the first point about the lubrication, we have to go a little bit backwards. So we saw our products and the sliding bearings, for example, in this case, and what are we doing with them? So we produce sliding bearings for motion. You know, this is why we call our products motion plastics. It can be for the bearing of a pedal system, it can be for the throttle valve, or even for a several thousand RPM application like the water pump. To be able to solve these kind of demanding applications, we need a high performance material. And this is what we do. We develop and spend a lot of engineering time and money into creating new materials and formulas. So all our iglidur materials are for motion and having several components. For example, the basis is always a thermoplastic. It can be a PA66, PBT, PPS up to PEEK, all of them which are available on the market we are using as basis. And then it's like the magic is happening, and we are adding a lot of reinforcements, fibers and fillers to make the material stronger. You can see it here, to face higher loads, specific loads for your application. And the last most important point are the lubricants. We already put our dry lubricants into the material. You can see it here, like you will have lubrication, dry lubricants over the complete wall thickness of the bearing. And that means for you, no additional greasing, no extra lubrication is required because it's already coming from the bearing. That means no lack of lubrication is possible with igus bearings. The second point is about the wear. So here we will focus on the surfaces of the area where the motion is happening. And we will compare the metal polymer compound from the market with our igus iglidur tribopolymers. So taking a look into the structure, the metal polymer compound is usually based on a metal bag, like the main proportion is the steel from the back, then you have some bronze layer, and finally you have a thin PTFE layer, like 50 micron, and this is responsible for the sliding surface. Comparing to our materials, you can see, or like we saw already on the last slide, we have an homogeneous wall thickness, dry lubricants over the complete wall thickness, not only this single layer, a small layer, the wall thickness is having the same lubrication effect over the complete wall thickness. What does it mean for a running application? So once you are in movement, you will have some wear for the bearing. Let's take a look in the metal compound bearing. So here you can see the simple structure. The PTFE layer, very thin, can be worn out during running, or even because of a misalignment of the shaft, you will directly face the metal-metal contact. You can see it here. The shaft is having scratch marks, and the metal of the shaft is in contact with the metal back of the bearing, and you can have noises, rattling or squeaking. If we take a look into our bearings, again, we having like solid lubricants. You can see the small points here over the complete wall thickness, the same lubrication effect over the lifetime, no scratch marks at all on the shaft, very clean surface, no squeaking noises, no rattling effect. That's it from my side. Thank you very much so far. And now I hand over to Sandesh, and he has some very, very excellent and great examples, especially also later from the application side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thanks for giving information about igus, materials, product lines, basic information about BSR and NVH. And we found the three major solutions from igus side, like the reasons of the BSR or NVH is like no lubrication or lack of lubrication, or the wear of the sliding surfaces. And the third one is the design and the processes, or the play in the systems. So we can reduce the play by the special designs by the igus. We can see here the two of the designs what we have made. We have lots of designs we have made, but we have a study here for the two major components we are showing here. One is the for seating system for the axial tolerance system. Here we can see on the pointer side, we have the balloon and the hollow portion here, which can be able to solve our problem of the axial tolerance compensation. The projections given is helping us to reduce the compensation at the axially. Even the second options where we have given small ribs on the OD of the bushings so that the rough housings can be tolerated, where the punch sheet holes or the wiper system applications, we use this part where poorly tolerated housings are there. So because of these designs, the axial or the housing tolerance can be get compensated. The next slide we can see about some more designs about the linkages. Normally in the general application, we can see the linkages with the metal ball socket joints where the housing and the ball pin are both in metals and create the noise when lubrication become dry or because of the wear. But with igus, we can see the polymer housings and the metal balls surely reduce the noise, or the ball in polymer and the housing in the polymer in the rod end side. And in the applications like turbochargers, wall actuations, gear shiftings, we can see this type of polymer linkages can be used. We are not stopped with the normal design. We are researching on that, and this year we came with a new material called RN283, which is our new research white color material, which is more softer in nature, more flexible to absorb vibrations and the noise and BSRs. So we can see in the design perspective, in the earlier the black models, we have to keep the higher clearances for assembling the ball. But with this more softer material, we can reduce the clearances. So less dust can go inside, lesser play and tighter feel and no vibrations and no noise, so that our designs can help you to reduce the BSRs and NVH from your systems. So next we'll see some applications from automotive systems, what igus can do. So these are some applications where igus can offer polymer solutions or polymer bearing solutions for your applications. Now we'll see which application contributes in the NVH and BSR. So let's go here and we can see, oh, almost all applications are causing some and major way of the vibrations or the NVH and BSRs, because all of them are in motions, all are troubling with the tolerances, lubrications, wear and all problems. But let us concentrate today in the major applications inside the cabins which will be felt by the drivers and the passengers, like pedal systems, steering systems, and sitting systems and hinges of the vehicles. Let's have a deep look in the applications now. For the pedal systems, we know pedal systems are made with the very rough method of like sheet metal punching and welding solutions and so on. Because of that, there are very wide clearances in the systems. Even people use very low quality, poor tolerated shafts in the systems. So igus have solutions like preload bearings. If you can see here, we have the sleeve bearing and the flange bearing solutions for the pedals, where the flange bearing solutions can give you both axial clearance reduction as well as radial clearance reduction. The axial clearance reduction, because of the flange, like a preload design, we can able to compensate 1 mm in each bearing is possible to compensate the tolerancing. Compensation of the tolerancing. In the radially, each leaf can give you 200 microns tolerance compensation. So each bearing can give you 400 microns tolerance compensation in the pedals. Because of this design, we can able to give you a rattle free, BSR free, NVH free, quieter operations in the pedals. Let us see the next application where steering mechanism. Here I want to show you a customer case study where one of our customer are facing problem in the steering mechanism, and all drivers are complaining about the vibrations and BSR at the steering column. This is the location when we studied, we understand this is the location shown in the pointer is giving the noise and BSR. This is the reason, because of the play, because in the steering column we use very low tolerated shafts and the polymer ball which is thicker and very high tolerances in the ID. Because of the clearances, even lubrication feel inside will get dry, and again vibrations are coming in. So problem come to igus. We suggested our preload bearing in the sleeve version, which can compensate 400 microns tolerance. We just increase the ball ID and press our bush inside the simple preload bearing inside the ball, and that ball we assemble and we checked and we understand the BSR or the squeak and all the rattle coming because of the play has become zero, and we have completely zero rattle free solutions. And now our solutions are in application or in production from last 5 years successfully without a single complaint. This is the very good example of reduction of BSR and NVH from igus side. So next application we can see for the punched hole in the sheet metal solutions, like we know the sheet metal solutions in the sitting systems and the hinges, where in the sitting system majorly we can see the applications like height adjustment, armrest movements, backrest movement, headrest movement, and so on. And the side door the hinges, we can see the applications like side door hinge, hood hinge, tailgate hinge, fuel lid hinge, spoiler hinge, and lot many mechanisms related to the hinge. In the sitting system, we can give you special solutions like clip solutions shown in the right side, where we can have a double flange bearings and solutions which are very easy to assemble, can save your time of assembly as well with homogeneous lubrication free polymer bearings. Now we'll see the process in the sheets, in the sitting systems and the hinges, how it will help. Here we know in the hinges and sitting system very poorly tolerated housings are there because of the sheet metal and very poor quality shafts coming in picture. So we have very wide tolerances. Now here we see in the punch hole seats, we assemble the bearings or the bushings, and we can see the gaps between the bush and the housing because of the tolerances. So now how can we use a process of e-coating or the painting process to reduce these clearances from the bush and the housing and the pin as well? So we see the process in the coming slide or in the video. We have a look on the process of e-coating where we can able to reduce the clearances. Let's have a small look on the video of e-coating. So in this video, we have seen a poorly tolerated housing and now and there is a gap. So how can we use it? The process is saying when we assemble the bush, we have the gap inside. So now we have a poorly tolerated housing. We place the bush inside and then we assemble a overlap design of the shaft with the interference, which exerts the pressure outwards because of the overlap. When this complete assembly go for the e-coating or the painting process, in that process there is a temperature coming into picture. Because of the temperature, the polymer is become softer in nature and it expands toward the gap and till the pressure from interference is become zero. And because of the temperature, we feel the gap between the housing and the bush OD. And now we have zero clearances between the shaft OD and the bush ID, as well as we feel the gap between the housing ID and the bush OD. So that now this system with electrical conductive polymer bearings is become 100% rattle and BSR free with the zero clearances, and it can be work without a drop of lubrication throughout the life for your application. The next one we can see here. Now we have a look all possible applications and solutions from igus side. From that first was lack of lubrication or drying of lubrication or not timely lubricated. How can we resolve? So we can resolve it by our solutions like self-lubricated homogeneously polymer material which didn't require a drop of lubrication throughout the life. The second reason what we have seen here, the wear of the coating material on the parts and it creates the metal to metal contact, creates a damage of the shafts and creating noise in the system. So solution for this igus has given you the homogeneously self-lubricated polymer material where there is no layering. Apart of some wear, we have the same material in the backing. Though it is a polymer, it is not scratching your shaft or damaging your shaft. So your system is becoming continuously lubricated throughout the life without any damage on the shafts. So next one, we can see not only this, but our special designs can also help you like preload bearings in the axially and radially, even the processes like coating or painting processes. We utilize it as a polymer bearing to compensate your tolerances and reduce NVS and BHSR. One more major topic we are not taken in consideration is also the corrosion on the bearing. We know this is a very big topic and where the water and humidity coming in contact with the metal back bearings or metal bearings with the iron content are getting corroded. We thought this is a very big topic, so we have created one webinar last week and posted on the YouTube. If you are interested, you can go and can have a look in 15 minutes the corrosion topic in detail. How can we solve the problems? But still, I can say you igus bearings can surely improves this corrosion topic as because of polymer, it doesn't require lubrication or our material doesn't require lubrication, and because of polymer, there is no corrosion. With all these points, what we can achieve as a rattle free, BSR free, the solutions in the igus and your drivers and your co-passengers can get a feel like a sleeping comfortable baby in the car when they are transporting one location to another location. So it's so this is how it is for the how igus can help you to reduce BSR and NVH. Thank a lot for attending our webinar today. We are still open for your questions, suggestions, projects, and application in the bearings. During this pandemic situation, we are available for you. You can contact us by phone calls, by emails, by virtually we can work with you for the Teams, WhatsApp, calling, Skype calling, WeChat calling, anything is open for us. We are ready to help you for your applications, for your problems, give you the solutions. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.